Greetings, dear, precious, magnificent spirit soul that you are. This is our heart to heart, always. Take a nice deep breath. Whatever's going on right now, right where you are, all is okay. Everything's just perfect right now because you're there. Stop tormenting yourself in your mind. Breathe into your heart. All is fine. Hey, the topic. How to attain your goals. Now, I don't talk a lot about goals because it's not like a football game where you kick the ball through the goal post and you get the prize. It's like an objective. For instance, I write articles for magazines, Echo Magazine, Science of Mind. I write for the Lotus magazine out of Chico, and now I'm starting to write for the Aware magazine. Yolanda publishes, who's just a fabulous person in the Los Angeles area, and writing for her. So anyway, writing is not something that was like a real natural thing for me in school and all that, because I'm much more of a participator. Sports, theater, activities, service, singing, stuff like that, climbing trees, whatever it may be. So I always say, if I'd known I was going to be an author, and I have 6 published books, and the second book, How to Have More and to Have Not More, A Have Not World, was the #1 New York Times bestseller. And my first book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, is fabulous, and they're all still selling, and that one is really important to get. And all of my newest, Live Your Bliss, also Dare to Be Great. So I have 6 published, and I actually have a couple more that I've published myself that I'm working with that are excellent. But anyway, so to write then is something where I have to really, really focus, and I didn't learn the classic way to write, but that's also fine, because I've been teaching myself over years. And in my first book, I had a lot of help, in the second and all that, until I developed my ability. And also not to conform and be like everyone else in your writing too, because there's that. Because it's okay. So anyway, so to do it, it's actually, if I don't write it, it's not going to happen, and it has to fit my criteria, because it has to make a difference for you. And it's something that I know. I don't share or teach what I don't know and practice myself. I'm not maybe practicing at the level I can or I could, and yet that's always the way it is, because there's always more of who we are and what we are that we can access and experience and be. That's just the way it is, because of who we are. So to do it, I actually have to sit down and with the computer, and it's a very lonely thing in a sense, and you have to keep a long strain of your consciousness, not strain, but awareness has to, be right there. But anyway, it only happens if I do it. And what I've learned along the way, or realized, that as soon as it comes to my mind, I either do it right now, I do something right now on it. I either move something here or there, I make a note of it, I do it. And I'm starting, finding more and more of what is my way that I do things, where instead of making myself wrong the way I do things, is to go, oh, that's how I do it, and to get used to, just like for the cat, they like gravy, and I don't feel good about the animals that have to be, when you get dog and cat food. This is completely insane too. As soon as we have pets. In fact, right now, at the herb farm, that I have in Mount Shasta, and conduct my counseling and my work like that, we have a lot of water now. So we have like 3 ponds and a stream that flows through, just when there's a lot of snow and water. Well, we have a lot of Canada geese, and we have a lot. So these 2 geese people, they've adopted the place. And what's so cool is I don't have to feed them. They don't have to become pets. They're not mine. They've adopted us. So we just leave them alone. They do their thing. And it's really fun to watch them, because I don't have to capture birds. I have birds all around, and have a relationship with the birds. Yeah, because we're all related at one level like that. But you need to do it. And the thing is that people put stuff aside, and so as soon as I recognize something, then I do it. I start it and I move it here and there. But if it is to be, it's up to you. If it is to be for me, it's up to me. Whatever your objectives are, whatever you say you want to attain, and so many people say, oh, I'd love to sing, but I can't sing. Anybody can sing. And of course, I studied with the maestro David Kyle, so I could teach anybody how to sing. And it's beautiful. You need it for your voice, because your body is the temple of the living God, our goddess, of who you are. And your own sound and your own voice is medicine for you, or it could also create the sickness because of the vibration of one's own mood and one's frequency and one's state of being. Whatever it is that you want to attain, it's all possible for you, but what are you doing about it? And someday, someday is not a day of the week, and everything is about putting it together. For instance, I've been making presents for people because I like to make, like, maybe a big bag. I made for my granddaughter a yoga bag because she graduated her training in yoga, and I've been a yogi for years and years. She's just fabulous. So I made her a big bag, and then I've been finding little fabrics that would make maybe a good little fanny pack I could make for somebody, because it's I like the sewing or and doing that sort of work, because I like to have balance in my life of all the different things, working in the garden, doing my physical exercises, the kind of food that I prepare, noticing the cat. And I get back to that topic, is that trying to make her be the way I want, instead of noticing she likes the gravy. Okay, make her gravy. She likes gravy. Let her eat gravy. So it's what kind? There's got to be a lot of good nutrition in it. But anyway, we're always trying to kind of make everybody be the way we want, or make things be the way we want. The key is first of all, you have to get your own limitations out of the way, because they're just concepts that you can't, you're not good enough, you're too old, you're too young, it's not possible. Everybody has it. And it's so terrible the way they speak of seniors. Well, it's time for them to go to a home. People didn't put senior people in a home. They had them in their families, because they're people with feelings. No, we'll just drug them up and keep them in their place, keep them out of sight, so we don't have to bother with them, because, well, how did people get into that condition in the first place? People didn't used to get into conditions like that in the first place at all. And where my great-grandmother lived, up in Big Pine, they have what was called the county farm, and people who maybe didn't have family to help them and take care of it, and they went. But it was beautiful. I went to visit people. They'd work in the garden. They were there. They had food. They had really lovely little rooms and things like that. And it was and then people would come and visit, and they'd have a lot of, because it was a community. It was personal. What we've been doing is making our lives impersonal, so that we're machines, and we all are the same, and just a bunch of ants going in the same direction. Just, getting there to survive every day, get enough so you can survive every day. But, one day your body is not going to survive. But your spiritual body is already there, and yet it's been inactive, because we're acknowledging that physical body rather than acknowledging our soul body and who we really are. So anyway, if it is to be, it's up to you. And it just means you have to do it. Step by step. If you want to learn to ride a bike, get on the bike and ride. If you want to sing, start singing. If you want to express your artwork, start doing your artwork. And I started to realize what was stopping me in some of my artwork, because I'm kind of very primitive in a way like that. I still would draw some of the same things I did as a kid or something like that. But that doesn't matter. That's my expression. And to stop competing with others, your work isn't good enough, and this is the insanity sometimes of family life. Everybody being so jealous of one another, called sibling rivalry, peer pressure. All of this is the lack of knowledge of who we are. and what's possible for us, and all is possible. You have to just get your stinking thinking out of the way that somehow says it's all kind of going to show up overnight, like remember the story of the shoemaker and the elves who would come at night and make your shoes. Well, I've had a lot of miracles in my life that I could never explain, and little by little all of the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And yet I've done so many things in my life. I'm an eternal being, but here only because I never thought I couldn't, and I would just do it. And that is the key. Whatever it is that is in your heart, my dear, to do, your expression. Like even if there was somewhere I wanted to go, and I've traveled all over the world to these holy places and taken groups with me, and I have had relationships with hundreds of thousands of people, and wonderful people, and mean people, and great people, and people that they don't consider so great, but just the divine being, the human being, the animals, the people, that was available to us, the richness of who we are in every way. But you have to know it, you have to be it. And the only one who's stopping you is you, by believing thoughts and belief, well, it won't be big enough, it won't be the greatest, it won't be successful, everybody's criticizing you anyway already, so get over it. Because that's the mind is always judging, like and dislike, I like you, I don't like you, I like you, like it. That's the mind. And if you listen to the mind will destroy you, because that is the purpose of the mind. It's a parasite, and a parasite has to have a host, and it's parasiting people through thoughts and through beliefs that they then identify with themselves, because in the beginning, as it says in John 1:1, and it tells the truth, is the Word. In the beginning of a manifestation is the Word, not you. You have no beginning. And then that Word was with God, with the source of who's ever speaking that word or thinking it has to be with the person. And then the Word becomes God. It's just the sounds with sounding meanings of all of that. And now that's superior to you and your life and tells you what to do and who you are. That is not true at all. So whatever you want to do it now. And that's the only time it ever happens, is now. And right now, all is possible. What do you want to do?